You always know when Florida Governor Ron DeSantis wants to pick a big culture war fight that's going to play well on Fox News. Like this week when he called for a grand jury to criminally investigate the manufacturers of COVID vaccines. When he boasted about his election police squad arresting 20 Florida residents for voter fraud, even though the state told them all they could vote. When he signed his Don't Say Gay bill, announced his Stop Woke Act, slammed Disney Corporation because it had the gall to oppose his Don't Say Gay bill. DeSantis is a stuntman who pulls political stunts to feed the content on primetime stunts that often fall apart and cause serious harm to real people, like dropping a group of men, women, and children, migrants from Venezuela who are seeking asylum in the U.S., on a random island off the coast of Massachusetts under false pretenses. Those people arrested on fraud, many have been told by election officials they could legally vote. Now those cases are falling apart and charges are getting dropped. There's one really significant part of actually governing, like the actual power of the state, that has to do with freedom and rights and autonomy and not being told by the government what to do. You might even see it's about freedom, which DeSantis does not want to talk about, and that's abortion. After the Supreme Court's Dobbs ruling striking down Roe v. Wade in June, Florida banned abortions after 15 weeks with some exceptions. Anti-abortion advocates want more. Basically, they want a total abortion ban at 6 weeks. Well, Ron DeSantis is a savvy enough political operator to understand that a total ban, the 6-week ban, wouldn't be popular in Florida. So while he was running for re-election this year, he basically ran away from the question. I mean that literally.
What would you like to see as an ultimate end to abortion? Is that your goal?
It's weird. He's such like a swaggering tough guy when he's got his like set pieces and his big press conferences where he announces what new enemy of the day he's taking on. Not there, though. You notice that? Not there. So, what do you think happened after his big win in the election? Ron DeSantis was asked again about a 6-week ban, and now he said he is, quote, willing to sign great life legislation. Joining me now is Florida State Representative Anna Eskamani. She previously served as a public affairs director for Planned Parenthood in South Central Florida. She now leads the Democratic caucus in the state legislature on abortion. Representative, it's good to have you. First, can you tell me a little bit of what the state of Florida abortion law is now post-Dobbs?
Well, thanks so much for having me. Right now in Florida, we have a 15-week abortion ban signed into law by Governor DeSantis with no exceptions for rape, incest, or human trafficking. It is impacting our patients. We are seeing doctors allow women to become more sick before they can access care. And we're seeing minors be forced to go to other states when they experience incest in order to seek medical care for termination of that pregnancy. So even though it's a 15-week ban, it still has been devastating, and we are preparing, as you just reported on, Governor DeSantis pushing an even more extreme ban.
So given that you serve in the state legislature and your background is in reproductive rights, my understanding as I was following this issue in the run-up to the election was it was always clear that Florida Republicans weren't going to stop at 15 weeks. For folks that argue that this is murder, that's totally insufficient. They don't want to allow past six weeks or so, not at all. And so it was always very clear Republicans in the State House wanted that. Ron DeSantis seemed to successfully evade ever definitively answering the question of whether he would support them inevitably throughout the entire election, as far as I can, the campaign.
Absolutely. I mean, Governor Ron DeSantis is practicing an ideology of convenience, where he preaches freedom in the case of vaccines and masks, but then wants to take away bodily autonomy and freedom from more than half the state. And he would run scared. Whenever he was asked about abortion, he would pivot to a different subject matter. Even when he signed the abortion ban that we have currently into law, he talked about other issues while signing that ban. So he's clearly running scared from this issue, and he should, because majority of Floridians agree that abortion should remain safe and legal. And as we saw around the country, abortion access is a winning issue. We know that in the United States. We know that here in Florida.
So there has clearly been pressure from the anti-abortion conservatives and Republicans who want to ban abortion completely, or pass a 6-week ban in this case. to get him on board. What's happened in terms of the movement on that? Because it now seems like the fix was kind of in from the beginning. Like, the people that I know who know this space always thought it was going to be the case that if he won, which seemed likely, and got the majorities in the State House, Election Day was going to come and go, and then, boom, presto, now on to the 6-week ban. Is that basically what's happening?
Well, here's the deal, Chris. Governor Ron DeSantis wants to run for president against former President Trump. And Trump can take credit for the entire Dobbs decision, as he has done for months now. And so if you're going to run against President Trump, you have to be anti-abortion. You have to be very extreme on your anti-abortion positions. But I would argue that running for president as the ticket for the Republican Party, trying to appeal to every American, it's not popular to ban abortion. So DeSantis finds himself in a really interesting place where he's feeling pressure from the right to ban abortion, but he knows it's not popular in the state, which is why during the campaign cycle he avoided it. But candidly, we know his positions. I mean, he suspended State Attorney Andrew Warren in Hillsborough County because Andrew Warren said he would not incarcerate women or doctors in the case of an abortion. And he hand-edited that executive order to remove him using anti-abortion rhetoric. So we know he's extreme. He's just being very effective in hiding from it.
Right, but eventually he's going to have to do it one way or another. I mean, that's what I mean. Like, he ran away from the questions. He avoided it, but he's going to sign this bill or not. And there's a lot of pressure. You've already got, I saw some conservative publications saying, like, he's on board. There's clearly jockeying going on. Does that give you in the state legislature some daylight, some opportunity to organize an effective opposition to a 6-week ban in your state?
Well, I'm glad you asked that question. We actually already posted today a virtual event to kick off 2023 focused on protecting abortion in Florida in January. We're planning national protests on January 22nd, which would have been the anniversary of Roe v. Wade. So, yes, I mean, we are in the super minority in Florida, so I can't control the votes in the chamber, but I can build the public support for abortion access to help us not only try to stop this abortion ban, but hopefully be successful in 2024 in flipping Florida and maybe even codifying abortion rights in our state constitution. I mean,
I haven't seen polling on this recently. I can't imagine a 6-week ban in Florida has majority support. I just can't see it.
Absolutely not. You know, we're a state that cares about freedom. We care about self-determination. And we believe firmly that decisions about one's pregnancy must remain between a woman, her family, her doctor, and her faith, and not politicians like Governor Ron DeSantis.
You actually are fairly unique in that you come from Planned Parenthood. You have a background in reproductive choice, and you're coming from that into elected office. And you don't, as far as I can tell, you don't represent a district that's like an 80-20 Democratic district. It's actually a swing district. And you ran on your background in reproductive choice pre-Dobbs, before Dobbs, in 2018, if I'm not mistaken. What have you learned about talking about this issue among voters that might not share all of your politics?
I learned that abortion access is an issue that is important to people of all political persuasions, whether you're a Democrat, Republican, NPA, whether you vote or not. Abortion remains a very personal, intimate decision and situation that folks of every political ideology want government to stay away from. And the fact that I flipped my seat in 2018 and then kept it in 2020 and 2022 by being abortion out loud should inspire other Democrats to do the same.
All right. We will see where this all goes. My suspicion is that he's not going to be able to hold off on this for long. There's going to be mounting pressure on both sides. And I think you're right. In terms of his primary positioning, he's going to see this as crucial for his presidential campaign. I suspect we will move forward, but I also think that will be a mark that will be very, very hard to undo with the general public should it come to that. Florida State Representative Anna Eskamani, thank you so much for spending time with us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
That does it for All In for this week.